What is happening, everybody? This is Dave and welcome back to my YouTube channel today for another Football Manager 2017 video. And today we've got a proper fun and interesting experiment where every conference side in England is going to be given £1 billion. So that includes the Conference Premier, Conference North and South. Before we get started as well, we're just going to keep it. We're just going to give them the £1 billion. We're never going to top up their money. I haven't got the in-game editor brought, so I can't do that anyway. But they're going to start off with the £1 billion. Some clubs are going to chuck it all away. Some clubs are going to use it very wisely. So let's have a quick look. As you can see off the bat straight away, there's already two non-league clubs looking for managers, which is Worcester and Eastleigh. So it's going to be interesting to see if those guys get a decent manager in or not, or if they're going to just stay down the non-league approach. We're going to be keeping a look on the reputations as well. We've got the Vanarama North and South both on 136, and we've got the Vanarama National League at 90. We've got a couple of these guys. As you can see, all the estimated values are £1 billion. So on the Vanarama National, it's going to be interesting. Only two teams can get promoted, so it's going to take a long while for kind of the Football League to be, injected with all of these teams. But we're going to go forward 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years just to have a double check of everyone. Everyone's been given £1 billion. It's going to be interesting to see how these kind of smaller sides, some of them quite well supported as well, just to see how they get on and how they're going to do. So let's skip forward a year. And keep your eyes out, because you guys are probably going to see things that I miss out on. So make sure you let me know in the comment section down below if you see things that I definitely do miss out on. So we skip forward 1 year, and as you can see, there is still another couple of jobs, the Vanarama National League, and, well, both in the Vanarama National League, looking for managers. Straight off the bat as well, a couple of non-league managers here under pressure. Mark Hughes at Dover, he's on £7 a week, so quite a big achievement for Dover fans there. They've got Stuart Pearce at Southport. Is that Bob Bradley? Bob Bradley at Brackley. Phil Brown at Telford. There's some big managers here in the non-league. So yeah, let's jump in. Let's have a quick look at the Vanarama National League. Aldershot are the title holders, and Forest Green winning the playoffs. Aldershot absolutely smashed it. By the looks of it, they brought in a Runa Kone. Some big players kind of injected into the these stats here. Even Willie Caballero at Forest Green. We'll quickly look at the transfers though. Biggest transfer. If we scroll all the way up, wow, we're going into the 30 millions. Manchester United looks like their young players have been raided. So Axel Twinzabi, Timothy Fosu-Mensah, James Wilson, even Nathan Aki went from Chelsea to Aldershot. So Aldershot looks like they've spent quite a bit of money. Roshan Williams from United as well. Cameron Carter-Vickers from Spurs. Harry Winks. Joe Gomez, Dominic Solanka. Some big players. Jonathan Leko as well. Joshua Onoma. If we go down a little bit more as well, Stefano Okaka from Watford. If you want to pause and have a quick look at some of these players, you've got Andros Townsend, Josh King, Carl Jenkinson, Bakary Sacco. Big players. I had a quick look though before we clicked off it, and I'm sure I saw a fairly big player. Ashley Young, there we go. Ashley Young went to Lincoln. Joe Mason from Wolves to Torquay as well. Some big players there, as you can see. But Aldershot absolutely walked away with it in the end. We'll have a quick look at them. Still got Gary Waddock in charge, who I believe is their manager in real life as well. They spent a staggering £82 million just purely off players that they've brought in. Some good transfers as well, to be honest. Runa Kone finishing top goal scorer in the league, only 130k. Lee Evans as well for 300k is not a bad deal, if I'm honest. Some of these other players, Dean Marnie and so on, but they did go on to spend up to £30 million on like Wilson and Aki. But they'll be good business for the next few years or so, because they'll really do the business up until championship level very comfortably, if I'm honest, as well. But it looks like Manchester United got raided, so let's have a quick look at those as well. Some of their youth players. In the end, they brought in £121 million worth of players. That almost paid off every player that they brought in, including Rajan Angolan, Mario, and so on as well. That is crazy that they've just sold off all these younger players for that sort of money as well. Now we're going to skip down to the North and South divisions. So the teams that went down are Solihull Moors, who looked like they really struggled. North Ferriby, Southport and Maidstone. They just couldn't keep up with the big boys at all. If we go down to North, it looks like Kidderminster have just beaten Floyd in the playoffs, and Nuneaton won the league. very, very comfortably again. Having a look, there's no real big players, bar maybe Bradley Dack that I can see. Emerson Boyce at Stourport as well. This guy, Dominic Knowles, by the way, was an absolute beast for me on one of my journeyman saves from Burton. Absolute beast. But yeah, it looks like Kiddie and Nuneaton. FC United went down quite surprisingly with Stalybridge and Altrincham as well. If we have a quick look at the transfers in this division as well, Damari Gray. Nuneaton absolutely blitzed it, look. Brought in Damari Gray, Lyndon Gooch, Joe Rankin Costello, Junior Stanislas. Not obviously the high-end players that we saw in the division above, but still some big players. Emiliano Martinez, some big players there. And it looks like Nuneaton and Flyde absolutely blitzed it. But did Flyde go up though? They finished in third, so they'll be quite disappointed. But I wouldn't be surprised to see them go up again next season. Going down to the south, Hampton and Richmond beating Chelmsford in the final, and Ebbsfleet winning the league quite comfortably as well. Again, no real players that I can see on this one that I know of, but we'll have a quick look on the transfers to see if they brought anyone in. Not as much money spent, interestingly, and no real big players that I know of. If I'm honest, Giles Coke is the only real one I've heard of there. Obviously, you guys might have heard of some others, but no one really spending the money at the Vanarama National League South. What I have done is change the reputation of all these teams, but not change the reputation of the league. So the league might not be that attractive to actually join. But very, very interesting that they kind of struggled to sign the players that, that these other teams were spending, especially the North, as they were spending, bringing in some big players. It's quite strange, really. But what we'll do now is skip forward another 2 years. So now we know that Aldershot are going to be in the Football League along with Forest Green. In League 2, the teams that went down is Accrington and Morecambe. So they're obviously aren't going to have the £1 billion. So it's going to be interesting to see how they cope up against these big teams. Are they going to go straight down or kind of try and consolidate themselves in the Football League? We'll skip forward another 2 years, though, and see how we get on. So we're now in 2019, and as you can see, Grimsby and Braintree without managers. However, I do believe at least Grimsby were in the Football League, so they won't have that sort of money. Any non-league teams here that we know of, Bromley, we've got McClare in charge. Gerardo Martino is in charge of Eastleigh, the ex-Barcelona man. He was in charge of Barrow as well. That is incredible. 6.5k a week there as well. And no other big managers there that I can see. So let's go straight into the National League again, and we'll see obviously how the other teams are doing. So St Albans won the league this season. Truro in second place, missing out on promotion to Nuneaton in the end. See, Braintree, Grimsby did go down. Hartlepool, these are all Football League sides that obviously can't cope with the money as well. We'll check quickly the big transfers over the past couple of years. Some big money spent. Kondogbia went from Man City to Nuneaton towards £51 million. Tom Davis from Torquay to Brackley. Is he the ex-Everton man? Yeah. For £34 million. So already some non-league sides kind of switching between themselves. Bigger names, not so much now, but some good young prospects coming into these lower leagues. Wilfred Boney coming to Sutton as well. Adnan Januzaj and Marwan Fellaini, Musa Sissoko. But it's interesting to see that the non-league sides are already switching between themselves. This season, Olivier Incham went from Sutton to Aldershot. Again, another conference move. Bertrand Traore, another conference move. John Flanagan as well. Tammy Abraham. A lot of them are doing it now, by the looks of it. A lot of these players are now moving from non-league side to another non-league side, which is pretty interesting, really. Villa actually came and brought Ben Woodburn from St Albans, though, for towards £34 million. So St Albans are the team this year that have gone up. Who went up last season? Lincoln went up quite comfortably, beating Sutton, along with Torquay United. So a couple of the teams that went down, if I remember, Morecambe unfortunately couldn't cope. Accrington just about did as well. So looking good. Torquay and Lincoln up last season, and St Albans and Nuneaton up this season. We're going to move now down to the north. Brackley went up. They beat Curzon Ashton 2-0, along with Chorley. The history of transfers is big money being sent. Wow. Tom Davis now from Brackley, which we had a quick look at earlier. Charlie Musonda. Brackley look like they've spent some big money, which shows that's why they got promoted. So it looks like they could make a shout for going up again next season. Marcel Sabitzer went from Spurs to Brackley. Chorley bringing in a couple of players as well. Last season, the money wasn't as big around, but surely, really, Forest Green used that, Brackley rather, used all that money they got from Tom Davis to do the business to get promoted. Some big plays, and obviously, if you guys want to see all of these, you got to press the pause button because there's so many. I'm going to miss out on some big players, obviously, probably down the line somewhere as well. So last season, Floyd got promoted to the Premier. And I can't see, there they go, they finished 10th, so they didn't actually go back up again in the Vanarama National League North. So yeah, some big teams, money getting spent. Now we go down to the south, so East Thurrock will be going up to the Conference Premier along with Dartford. East Thurrock just managed to get in that playoff spot and they made the most of it as well. There's some teams struggling though to stay up and get in with the money like Billericay, Slough and Dulwich Hamlet as well. Last season St Albans and Truro went up, but Truro did well. Unfortunately, did they miss out just about, if I believe, on... Oh, yeah, they did. They just missed out. They could have had consecutive promotions there, Truro, but unfortunately they didn't. Any big money being spent here? 34 million. Tom Davis to Brackley again. We've already had a look at that one. Aaron Martin went from Man U to East Thurrock. I believe Man U only just signed him as well. Dujon Sterling, Damari Gray moving to clubs as well. This season, again, a couple of players coming. Alex Garcia, no real big-ish players. Chesney, I suppose. But yeah, have a look at some of those. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, Morgan Gibbs-White from Wheelstone to Derby in the end, who's a good young player. So it's interesting to see, definitely. Now we're going to have a quick look at some of the league side and how they're getting on. So any of the teams that I notice here, I may be totally being daft here. With some of the teams that have gone up, I'm going to have to try and remember. So Lincoln, this season, looks like they've been promoted. Lincoln City, who have just got promoted from the conference, along with Torquay as well, I believe. So Torquay United, who just got promoted from the National League, are going up along with Kevin Nicholson as well. They've got Fernando as their vice-captain. In League One, we should see a couple of teams. Forest Green and Aldershot both getting promoted. They're the two teams. They've got Cambridge mid-table as well, along with Oxford up there too. So Forest Green and Aldershot are doing the business at the moment. They were the first two teams to get promoted to the Football League, and it looks like they're going up to the Championship again. Some big players, and we'll have a quick look at them before we move on to see if they were bringing in any big teams. So Jake Cole left. He's a good favourite of Curtie FM. He's doing an Aldershot Town save as well. I'll make sure I try and remember to leave a link to him in the description. But they were bringing in some big players, spending some big money as well. Phil Jagger-Elkerin on a free at that level isn't bad at all. Even last season, they only spent 3 million, to be fair, last season, which isn't too bad from them. But bringing in some great players, including Seydou Doumbia. If we go quickly back and check out Forest Green before we go. They won the league with Mark Cooper in charge. Spent 67 million on Tom Davis, which we saw. John Flanagan for 33 million as well. They got more money than sense, really. And some players leaving the club. Last season, they spent 21 million as well. Bringing in some good players. Joel Campbell, Varela, Ahmed Musa from Leicester as well. Samba So big players coming in and out. Forest Green and Aldershot look like they're going to be the two teams to possibly get to the Premier League first. But let's skip forward another 2 years and see how we get on. So we're now at the 31st of May 2021. We're going forward now, and there's obviously quite a bit to go through again. So let's go straight into it. Margate and Macclesfield are two of the teams at the moment without managers. We'll start off with the national playoff final. Hemel Hempstead, it looks like they're going to be going into the Football League. They've been stuck in this league since the start of the experiment, really, but now they've finally made the breakthrough. Finished second last season, beating Chorley 3-0. Bishop Stortford as well. Couldn't quite break the 100-point mark, but they're up. And obviously, as you can see, some Football League sides formerly slipping down into the relegation zone. A couple of regions now popping up, as you can see. Chris Roche from Tranmere there as well. Let's check out the transfers, though, as always. Not as much big money being spent or splashed around this season. Again, a lot of the players are now just being swapped in between some of the ex and current conference sides as well. Last season as well, big money. Gary Richards went from Manchester United to East Thurrock. He looks like a very promising regen. Looks like he did the business for them in League 2, which we'll have a look at in a minute as well. We'll go down to the National League North as well. There was some big money spent, but again, mainly between conference teams or ex-conference teams. And again, this season, not as much money being spent at all. Salford look like they've finally been promoted along with Alfreton this season. FC United going down with Lowestoft and Hensford as well. Hartlepool, Accrington, Grimsby, all Football League sides slipping slightly down there. We'll look at Vanarama National League South. Maidenhead have gone up with Eastbourne Borough this season. We'll have a quick look who went up last season. It was Bishop Stortford along with Hemel Hempstead, who have both just gone up as well, which is very, very interesting to see a lot of these teams kind of doing consecutive promotions as such as well. So very interesting indeed at the moment. Niall Ennis finishing top goal scorer for Eastbourne Borough, a very high prospect on this game. If you can get him to play the football, he's currently at Wolves in real life. And Manera as well, the ex-Barca man at this level, which is really, really interesting to see. So let's have a quick look up all the leagues now, see if any of the conference teams. So Brackley looks like they're going to be moving up to League One along with East Thurrock. So that'll be interesting. Newport County and Bradford are going to be slipping down to non-league football this season. It looks like no other non-league sides as such missed out on the promotion. Nuneaton lost out to Rotherham in the playoff final. St Albans will be going up to the conference though. Nuneaton missing out. Though it finished on the same points as Rotherham, but unfortunately going they'll miss out on the promotion. Well, now we'll move up to the Championship. As you can see, we yet to play that playoff final, but it's going to be Wolves against Torquay United. Forest Green, currently the title holders. I don't think the season's quite finished yet due to this, but Lincoln will be in the Premier League next season. Torquay and Wolves, it's going to be interesting to see out of those two who makes the breakthrough. No other conference sides as such here at the moment, but it looks like Torquay and Lincoln are going to be making the breakthrough. But in the Premier League, wow! Forest Green did stay up by 2 points, but look at that. Aldershot Town finishing in 4th place in the Premier League. They finished level on points with Chelsea and beat them on goal difference to a Champions League spot. Gary Waddock still in charge of the club. Incredible consecutive promotions from the Vanarama National League all the way up to the Premier League, where they finished second in the Championship. They never actually, other than when they won the conference, they never actually won the league, so they were always second string to Forest Green. But this season, they did their business, spending £227 million, spending £32 million fee up to about £55 million on Lacazette, brought in Jack Butland, Zuma, some big players, Phil Jones, Denis Suarez, and Done looks like he was the top goal scorer for them this season. Players out though, they're just not bringing money in, but they're spending it as well. Son Heung-min came in, Clinton and John Bostock as well. So that is incredible that Aldershot Town now are currently one of the best teams in England after all of that influx of money. It's madness. So let's have a quick look at the managers of the non-league sides at the moment and see if all the money has brought in some decent managers, really. So we're going to start off with Floyd. They've got Ben Petty. So if we just flick through some of these, see who there is. Mark Hughes, Prandelli's at Bishop Stortford. Slaven Bilic at Chorley, who finished 3rd. Gareth Ainsworth at Curzon Ashton. James Beattie there. David Wagner at Darlington as well. Ricky Lambert is managing in Dover. See if there's any other big... David Moyes at Gateshead as well. Simon Grayson. Fernando Hierro at Hemel Hempstead, who went up, I believe. Macclesfield still looking for a manager. Sean Gota, the manager of Southend United, who obviously don't have that money at the moment. Carlos Carvalhaldi, Sheffield Wednesday boss at Sutton as well. Ryan Giggs managing Tranmere. Steve McLaren at Truro. Bob Bradley at Wrexham now. And that is all of the ones in the National League. I just remembered there was a much easier way to look through managers. But if we look through the managers now in the north, there's Mick McCarthy at Boston, Francesco Guadagnino at Alfreton Town. Quick look at any of the others. Steve Clark at Salford as well. And in the Vanarama South, there's Oleg Lunzi at Gosport, Roberto Di Matteo at Gloucester, Steve Bruce at Eastleigh, Carl Robinson at Concord, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank at Chelmsford, Stephen Presley at Bath. And other than that, it looks like it's done. I'll see if I've missed out on any others in the Vanarama National. I don't think we did. And any of the conference teams that went up at all. Laurent Blanc at East Thurrock, which is an interesting one indeed. Joey Barton at Port Vale. It looks like they're kind of some of the big teams. Brackley have got Paul Clement in charge, the current Swansea manager. League One as well, some of the teams that went up. Jens Lehmann's at Warsaw. I know they didn't come up. Nuneaton have got Fabio Grosso. And I think that might be at Barnet, maybe, with Gary Hill. Lee Johnson at St Albans as well. Going into the Championship now, we know there's a couple of teams there. So you've got your Lincoln, we've got Danny Cowley, and who else? Torquay, Kevin Nicholson. Other than that, I think that might be those. And obviously in the Premier League now, we checked Forest Green and Aldershot out. Forest Green have currently got Victor Gonsharenko and Gary Waddock in charge of Aldershot, doing the absolute business at the moment. If you guys want another part of this, though, you'll have to let me know. Obviously, it's quite hard to look at everything in one piece. If you've got any kind of suggestions of the way we can kind of structure these so they're a little bit easier, or if you want another part, or if you've got any other leagues that you want to see with £1 billion to see how things advance, because it is incredible, do let me know in the comment section down below. I do appreciate all those comments to interact with you guys. Smash the like button down below if you haven't already. Subscribed to this channel as well. And until next time, guys, I'll see you all very soon.